Hi again, hockey fans. Great to see you and welcome into episode number 19 of Ccha Now. My name is Ben Holden. Well, the quarterfinal round is complete. The Miami Redhawks advanced to the Joe. They took care of Michigan State, a hard-fought series. Miami won the series 2-1. Notre Dame, 2 one-goal games. They knocked off Bowling Green in 2 to advance to Joe Louis as well. Western Michigan, the number 3 seed, they were knocked off. Michigan goes on the road, and the Wolverines won both games. They took care of it in 2 as they advanced to Joe Louis as well. And in the 4-5 matchup, Ohio State in the old barn, go figure, final year of the league, they go old school. They took care of Ferris State in 3 games, 2-1. We'll set the semis for you in detail a little bit later, but let's first drop the puck as always with our top 10 plays of the week and plays 10 through 6.
Play 10 takes us to Oxford. Friday night, Game 1, Michigan State, the regular season champion Miami. Sean Corrali up the right wing for the Redhawks, but Rookie of the Year candidate Jake Hildebrand comes up with a great stop here. In fact, he would shut out the Redhawks as MSU took Game 1 of the series. And at play number 9, Game 2 in South Bend, Bowling Green and Notre Dame. Jose Delgadillo helping out Andrew Hammond here. He saves a goal, but the Irish would call on Brian Rust for the penalty shot because the puck was covered with the glove in the crease. Rust has the backhand move here down to a science. Worked twice at Western Michigan in the shootout, and it worked here. And you'll see it one more time a little bit later in our top 10 plays of the week. In at play number 8, we're going old school. In Ohio State's old barn, Ryan Dzingel, an old school type player. Big goal here for the Buckeyes Saturday in Game 2 against Ferris. That tied the game at 1-1. They would skate to a 3-1 win in Game 2, and that forced a decisive Game 3 that came up on Sunday. In at lucky number 7 this week, we stay in Ohio, back to Oxford. Game 3, Miami and Michigan State on Sunday. Kevin Morris making a heads-up play here as Jake Hildebrand was wandering in the corner. The shorthanded goal gave Miami a 1-0 lead. They would cruise to a 4-1 win in Game 3 as they advance to the Joe and the CCHA semifinals. And in at number 6 this week, we go back to Columbus. Buckeyes' final home game in the CCHA. Ryan Dzingel had a huge night against Ferris in Game 3. He'll fire the shot. Anthony Greco bangs in the game winner as the Buckeyes won 3-2. And like the Redhawks, they advance to Joe Louis and the semifinals.
And we encourage you to stick around for our top 5 plays of the week coming up a little bit later in this episode of CCHA Now, certainly with a playoff feel and flair to it. Final CCHA championship coming up this weekend downtown Detroit. The games are Saturday and Sunday. There's a lot going on. It all gets underway on Friday with the world premiere of Celebrating the Legacy, CCHA documentary, 42 years of this great league. So we encourage you to check that out. At 7:30, the awards begin at the Fox Theater, the best award show in all of college hockey. The games on Saturday, of course, and Sunday, 2:05 for the championship game down at Joe Louis Arena. And there's all kinds of great things going on around downtown all weekend, so we encourage you to get down there and check it out. Now, the reason I'm wearing this Ferris State jersey, this throwback old school Ferris State jersey, this is one of the items, along with hats like this, trophies, banners, all kinds of great memorabilia will be on display for you to pick up and purchase down on the main concourse level at Joe Louis Arena on Saturday and Sunday. It's time now to unveil this week's USCHO Top 20 poll. Here it is.
And up on the USCHO Top 20 this week, Minnesota, the new number 1 team. Quinnipiac is second. The Miami Redhawks, they remain a constant. They're again ranked number 3 this week. Notre Dame, after a big finish to their season, including their playoff victory over Bowling Green, they move up 3 from 12 to number 9. Western Michigan, a disappointment at home last weekend. They drop from 9 down to number 12. And the Michigan Wolverines rank number 20 this week. Alaska and Ohio State each receiving 9 votes in this week's poll.
Well, it's that point in the show where we get to our Celebrate the Legacy moment this week. As we mentioned, the world premiere of Celebrating the Legacy, the documentary done so well on the CCHA. It premieres this Friday down at the Fox Theater at the awards show. And we're now going to present you a clip from Ron Mason talking about his days at Bowling Green.
Shy and unassuming, Ken Morrow let his play do the talking. Physically imposing at 6 feet 4 inches, the Flint, Michigan native earned all conference accolades all 4 years in the CCHA. And his time with the Falcons was a springboard to Olympic and Stanley Cup glory.
Shot, score! The Islanders have done it! When he first came into the Islanders, they weren't sure about him. He had a beard, and here's this 6'4" guy, came off the Olympics and all this. Who is he? They couldn't figure him out because he didn't talk much. And so he played a few games, and all of a sudden Potvin said, hey, I want to play with that kid. That's who I want to play with. Because he said, I never had to worry about his side. He said, I'd go up the ice, and he did a lot, as Potvin, as you know, went up, got a lot of points. He said, Morrow was always there. He said, he's covered up every time, solid, and he just fit right in like a glove.
Scored by number 6, Ken Morrow.
Ron Mason, who had arrived at Bowling Green in 1973 after starting varsity hockey at Lake Superior State College.
Well, speaking of Ken Morrow, let's look at some of the highlight players on the CCHA all-time team, and let's stay right with Ken Morrow. 75 to 79 at Bowling Green. He was a 3-time first-team All-CCHA member, and he was Player of the Year in 1979 before he moved on to help the U.S. win gold in 1980. Also on the team, Nelson Emerson, a 2-time All-American. He scored 294 points, a CCHA record. He's a 2-time first-team All-CCHA member and was Rookie of the Year in 1987. Bowling Green, well represented. George McPhee, who played for the Falcons from 78 to 82, scored 267 career points. He was a Hobey Baker winner in 1982 and the CCHA Player of the Year in 82 as well. Brendan Morrison from Michigan scored 284 points in his maize and blue career. Led the Wolverines to a national title in 96. He won the Hobey Baker in 97, was a 3-time All-American and a 3-time first-team All-CCHA member. He was also Rookie of the Year in 94 and Player of the Year in 96 and 97. Wayne Gagne from Western Michigan University, 83 to 87. He was a 2-time All-American, a 2-time first-team All-CCHA member, and Player of the Year in 1987. He scored 241 career points. And one of the goaltenders on the team, Ryan Miller from Michigan State from 99 to 2002. He set the NCAA record for shutouts. He also won the Hobey Baker Award in 2001. He was a 2-time Player of the Year, also a 2-time All-American, and Goaltender of the Year twice. He was also a first-team All-CCHA member. For the entire all-time CCHA team, you can go to ccha.com.
Well, it's that point in the show where we unveil this week's top 5 plays of the week. As I like to say, let's roll the videotape.
Play number 5 takes us to South Bend. Game 1, Falcons of Bowling Green and Notre Dame. Andrew Hammond played terrific. And how about the save here on Sam Calabrese? Robbed him of a sure goal. That kept the game scoreless early in the third, and there's more to come from this game a little bit later. Play number 4 takes us to Kalamazoo. Game 1, Broncos and Michigan. Jacob Trouba came to play for Michigan, fakes the big slapper here he's got. Instead, he goes high glove with a wicked wrister on Frank Slabowski. Michigan won Game 1, 4-3. Play number 3, same team, same series. Game 2 Saturday night. Alex Guptill with a huge night for the Maize and Blue. Rips home his second of the night. Wolverines just dominant in the last 8 games. They're 7-0-1 in that stretch, and Alex Guptill is a big part of that. Play number 2, drama in South Bend. Game 1 Friday night. Scoreless tie, we're in overtime. Brian Rust comes off the bench, gets the puck off his skate, and goes backhand to win the game a minute 22 into overtime. Notre Dame won it 1-0. They took the series 2-0, and they advanced to the Joe. Brian Rust had 3 goals in the series. And in at number 1, back to Kalamazoo, Game 2, Michigan and Western. A.J. Triace denied by Slabowski with a stack pad stop, but they forgot about Andrew Sinelli. The pride of Dexter, Michigan rips home the game winner as Michigan advances to the Joe for the 24th straight year. The play was clutch, and it's our number 1 play of the week.
Our shift is ended here on episode 19 of CCHA Now. Certainly hope you enjoyed it. It was our pleasure, as always, to bring it to you. Want to remind you again, 1 o'clock on Saturday, Ohio State Notre Dame in the semifinal. Game number 1, Michigan and Miami at 4:30 down at Joe Louis Arena. And the championship comes up at 2 o'clock on Sunday from the Joe. There are going to be a lot of former CCHA players down at Joe Louis Arena. Who knows? You may be able to bump into one of them and rub elbows and talk about the good old days when they played in the CCHA. Look forward to seeing you at the games. Hope you can get down there. If not, watch them on TV. It's going to be a great tournament down at Joe Louis Arena. As always, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and at ccha.com. Enjoy the games and the final CCHA championship. Until next week, for Sean, Phil, all the gang here at the office, Ben Holden saying Thanks for watching.